everyone. Welcome back to Eamon on Track. I am your host, Eamon, and I'm here with my father, Dave Mader.
I'm Dad Mader.
Today we are reviewing Bruce Springsteen's live album, Live in New York with the E Street Band.
Yes, from 2001.
Yeah.
Recorded in 2000.
Yeah. It's, interesting album.
Interesting album. I got to get a warning text apparently this morning. Warning. I'm not a huge fan of this album, and I was like, okay, well, because we were trying. We knew we talked about we wanted to do a Bruce Springsteen album.
We wanted to do a Bruce Springsteen, yeah.
And there are a lot to pick from.
There are a lot to pick from for sure.
So I tend to like his live albums the most, and like his live music the most. So I picked this particular album just because it has one track in particular that I think is really strong. Version of a song, that being Atlantic City, which I'm probably going to select as my favorite track from this album.
It's a pretty good track,
yeah, but and like the good thing with Springsteen, or one of like his strongest features, I think, in his live music, is that he often does his classic songs differently. So
that's fair. I can appreciate that
compared to the famous versions of his songs, the studio versions of his songs. Right. Or whatever. He'll slow it down, he'll speed it up, he'll even create little Irish ditty versions of his songs. He'll go over to Ireland or wherever, and so he really does play for the crowd a lot. And I think you get to hear some of his classic songs in ways you wouldn't anywhere else. So there's at least that. You might not like that version as much, but at least it's different.
I can appreciate that, and there definitely are some different versions of songs on this album. Like Born
very much so. Yeah.
Born well, even comes to mind.
Like the Atlantic City example. If I like the original album version, like the one he released that on as a solo artist, Nebraska, was like from '82. Yeah. That version of the song to me is not as good as the version on this album. Like it's not even close. And they're almost the version on this album is 2.5 minutes longer, right?
Yeah.
And it just got so much more feeling to it, so much more storytelling to it in this version.
I think it's funny you mentioned the length, because I think that's my biggest issue with this album overall, is that half the songs on this album are 10 minutes long.
Yes, there is that factor. The entire album is almost 2 hours long.
I thought it was 2 hours long. It's like 2:20.
Is it? I thought it was an hour and 43.
Let's see here. 143 minutes, 2 hours 20 minutes.
Oh, doesn't that mean an hour and 43 minutes?
No, it means 143 minutes.
Are you sure?
That's what it says here on like Wikipedia. Yeah, it's like 143, not 1.43. So
okay, 1 hour dot, or is it one?
It's 143.57.
Okay, fine. 104. So, but no, how many minutes is that then? 143.
Well, 60 minutes is an hour, so 2 hours is 120 minutes. So that's 2 hours 27 minutes.
2 hours 27 minutes.
Yeah.
All right, then in that case, this has to be the longest album we've done.
Yes, I'd say so.
So I'm just looking at our stats here. Like the very first album we covered on this podcast was the Hamilton,
but that's a whole play.
That's a whole play, and that's 4 minutes shorter.
Yeah.
So this is a play, Eamon.
Yeah.
This is a complete,
pretty much.
It just doesn't have much of an intermission. Like I don't. Did you just listen to the audio version, or did you watch any of the?
I watched some of the video. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you can tell like that crowd is super into it, and like he's playing to the crowds. But at the end of the show, he is soaking wet.
Yeah.
He is like he's leaving it all out there. I also just like him with the E Street Band. I think that you get some of that in the video version, where like just their swagger on stage, the way that they clearly love playing with each other.
This was apparently their first album or their first project back in like 15 years.
Yeah, so they split up, I guess in the late 70s, early 80s.
Sounds like, yeah.
And so Springsteen kind of did his own thing for like most of the 80s and 90s. He was just, there was the E Street Band, I think, was still operating kind of as a separate entity during that time.
Okay.
And because like you've seen Home Alone 2.
Yeah.
And there's that song All Alone on Christmas when Macaulay Culkin's kind of going around New York City. There's a montage scene, and
Is that the E Street Band?
It's Darlene Love and the E Street Band more
Okay.
specifically. So like Darlene Love, who's got a famous Baby Please Come Home Christmas song from the 60s.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've heard it. So like the E Street Band kind of became like this kind of solo unit separate from Bruce for a while too, and then they all seemed to come back together. People like Max Weinberg, he was running the band on Late Night with Conan O'Brien. During those years.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Steve Van Sant became an actor, and he was on The Sopranos, and so a lot of them had kind of gone their own way and become successful in their own right, aside from the Bruce, and then they all kind of come together at this point in their lives, and I think that they're stronger than they were originally. I think they're a little older, they're a little bit more experienced, and they play really well together.
They do.
And I think Bruce's singing, I think, is better in this era. Like he's got like a very specific style in the 70s and in 80s, I'd say, that is not necessarily my flavor. It's more of that kind of, it's almost like he's singing with a New Jersey accent sometimes.
That's an interesting way to put it. Yeah.
Kind of like dialing up that sort of, I don't know, like almost that Marlon Brando kind of thing.
Marlon Brando, huh? That's what you hear in this?
Not in this album, but like if you go back and listen to like some of the original studio versions of the songs, is what I mean more, and you don't get that so much here. No.
Okay.
So anyway, that's
all right. Well, let's get to the tracks, but first, we got to talk about the album cover.
Okay.
For being a live album, I'm not surprised it's not much interesting. This is a very boring album cover, frankly.
I think it's just based on whatever the tour art was, like the promotional tour. It looks like a poster.
That makes sense. For
you're promoting just like a concert. It's obviously got the silhouette of Bruce Springsteen and Clarence Clemens there. As sort of I guess being something to sell it. Like I don't know. I don't think they needed much in terms to get people to go to these concerts. Like
not really.
It's
Bruce Springsteen. Yeah, I get that.
And the E Street Band, which I think at the time, like maybe we take it for granted here in 2024, but the band, I don't know if they knew if it was going to get back together.
Right.
15 years apart.
Yeah,
and I think it was it's a lot here, and also Bruce's wife is in the band as well, right? But I don't think she was when they were kind of back together in the old days. Like I think she had joined when he wasn't in the band, and then they kind of came back together.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, but yeah, okay, I agree. The album cover is not the most inspiring. It's I guess it could be more boring.
It could. It don't get me wrong. It could definitely be worse, but I mean, my expectations are usually set low with a live album cover, anyways. Honestly,
sure, yeah. It's not like it's because none of them are original songs, right? Like they're all songs from other albums. So, I guess it's more like this compilation,
right? Anyways, let's move on to the first track, which is "My Love Will Not Let You Down."
Yeah, and not my favorite track.
No.
And I think it's actually not a great song for them. As far as I understand, it starts off the DVD version and the CD version.
Yeah.
And
which is different. The CD version has less tracks and a little bit of a different ordering.
Maybe like I was like, did they open the concert with this song? Because it feels weird. It feels weird to open the album on it. It's not like it feels like one of their filler tracks, honestly. And something like maybe it's just a warm-up song. And that's how it feels like to me. Like it's just not my favorite Bruce Springsteen song by any means.
I can't say I'm particularly a huge fan of it. That's for sure.
Yeah. So, but this is track 1.
This is track 1 according to the track listing I have here. Yeah.
Okay, I agree. It's track 1. But I guess what you have is coming up as track 2 is maybe where I'm going to.
Oh yeah, sorry. That is incorrect. Yes, that is actually track 4. I need to be with that.
All right. Yeah. So my level ended down. I don't know. Like it's got like as I was putting the album on, I was like, You know, like this isn't my favorite, and I think that if you turn it off because of this song, yeah, I would say keep going because
Yeah.
there's a lot of these tracks are a
That's
lot
fair.
better. And if you love the song, hey, I'm not telling you not to, but
Mhm.
it's just I don't know, I don't know, just something about it doesn't quite jive with me.
Okay.
You know, and I kind of feel that way about like almost the first three songs.
Mm.
Which what comes after this one?
What comes after this one is "Prove It All Night."
Prove It All Night, and I've
Yeah.
almost forgotten what that is now.
This is the problem I was having when I was listening to this, is that some of these songs blend together.
Some of these songs do blend together, or they kind of feel very similar, but some of them don't. Definitely, like some of them are like, oh well, that's that song. But I feel like a lot of the songs that we would put in that category are like kind of really up front at this beginning of this front part of the album.
You think so, right?
I feel that way
Mm.
about it because I just don't think it is. It's like I don't know. Because maybe these are very popular songs.
This got a nice. I'm listening to it right now again. This has a nice piano on it. That's for sure.
Prove It All Night.
Yeah.
Just to give myself a little quick re-listen here.
Yeah. Sure.
Like this would have been a better song, I think, to open up on.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, that would definitely have made a better song. I want to check the movie here. Let me check the actual.
Night.
Let me check the actual like DVD set list.
I think just like the it's like prove it all night, prove it all. It's okay, but it's like it's also kind of boring. The instrumentals I think are the best part.
Yeah. Yeah, this is indeed. So My Love Will Not Let Me Down and then Prove It All Night. This is indeed the order it went on the actual set list, as far as I can tell.
No. Do you have any idea what the actual set list was?
Well, this is just what Wikipedia is saying, mind you. So take it with a grain of salt. This is the film set list, rather. Sorry, because I forgot about that. I don't think these are all like the same concert.
No, they're two different concerts.
Yeah.
Some is, but they're dressed very similar on both, so it's hard to really tell which is which. But it's two concerts: June 29th and July 1st, Canada Day, 2000.
Right.
So this is like pre 9/11.
Which is funny because it's all the whole New York thing.
It's New York City, but it's before, I guess, the loss of innocence, maybe in some ways. Yeah, and so, but it's hard to tell. Like in my mind, they opened the show up with Atlantic City, but like it doesn't.
It doesn't actually.
It doesn't actually work like that. So yeah, Prove It All. It's okay. Prove It All Night. It's it's not. But most of the time, I'm going to skip this song.
That's fair. And then we move on to Two Hearts.
Then we move on to Two Hearts.
Yep. Which is. Let me see. Let me get a re-listen to this one again.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm always having to remind myself of these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very.
It's almost like a Bob Dylan song. That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah. Maybe in terms of the instrumental, I can see that, but the voice is definitely very.
Well, he's not singing like Bob Dylan, but it just kind of feels like instrumentally.
Okay. Yeah, it's very
It's kind of generic.
It's very generic, I think. Yeah.
It's kind of boring to me. Like, so like I hate to be repetitive with these first three tracks, but I'm like, these are like the songs. These are not my favorite Bruce Springsteen songs. So I guess like that's like the disappointing part for me is this album kind of starts off with three songs. I'm like, they're fine, but they're not.
But
like,
do you think of Springsteen when you think of these songs? No,
and I just don't think they're his best work, or they're just like not my personal favorites.
Right.
They're perfectly acceptable rock and roll songs. There's nothing technically wrong with them. They just don't quite get my foot tapping or whatever, So I don't quite get into it.
No. All right, but let's move on to the song that you've been wanting to talk about, Atlantic City.
Atlantic City, yes.
This is a pretty good song, I have to admit.
Like, yeah, to me, like, this is like a show opener. This is what you start the album off with. Like, this is, you know,
and
he's like,
yeah, it's not. It's the
and
fourth song.
it's the fourth song for whatever reason. You know, however they came to those decisions. But, you know, to me, like, this is maybe the definitive version of this song. You know, I'm sure he's done it as very similar in other concerts, but like if you go, like as I've been mentioning, if you go back to like that Nebraska version, like the one from his 82 album, he's like,
Yeah.
it's so different. It's such a different song. The tempo
Okay,
is
so
different.
I haven't listened to that version. So what is that version like?
It's very like it's younger. It's a younger Bruce. He's
Yeah.
like, you know, uh, they blew up the Chicken Man in Philly last night. They blew up. You know, it's faster. It's more. It's got a more youthful voice. It's it doesn't. He doesn't hold the notes as much. He doesn't feel like he's telling a story. It feels it tends to be like he's kind of rambling a little bit in that original version of the song. This song's slowed down.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Which I think helps this song a lot.
I think it makes sense for what the song is kind of about. Yeah,
but just something like you know, the way he sings or he elongates like some of the notes and the words in this version, you know, like everything dies, baby, that's a fact, you know, and
yeah.
Maybe everything that dies one day comes back. You know, he repeats these the chorus, which is a really strong hook.
Yeah, I think so too.
But you know, it got a lot of great themes in it. You know, talking about just like, you know, there's just winners and losers and like sort of the rat race of life, and you know, you don't want to be on the wrong side of the line, and you know, it's and how he's got debts that no honest man can pay.
Yeah,
so,
I like that line too.
By the end of the song, he ends up like saying, "Oh, I met a guy last night. I'm gonna do a little favor for him," which is kind of an implication. He's like, you know, getting involved with, you know, probably organized crime or something like that.
Something illegal.
Something illegal. He's probably gonna die, but don't worry, you know, everything that dies maybe one day comes back. And just even like everything about that, like the feeling of desperation. It's in a lot of his songs. You know, he's often talked about as one of the great you know, singers, musicians of the working class.
Yeah, I was about to say, he's very much known as the working class man.
And I feel like this is one of the great examples of that.
Yeah.
But to me, also, like, this is an example of how the E Street Band elevates him musically, because I feel like this version of the song is like, you know, him coming together with, you know, Steven Van Sant and Nils Lofgren, is that how you say his name, the guitarist, and all of them, and like and Weinberg and the rest of like, they all come together here and make this, but I would say, a superior version of the song. And it's but it's also a very romantic song, you know. It's like, you know, like
it is,
fix up your hair pretty and meet me tonight in Atlantic City. But then on the other side of the song, he's kind of saying like, our love may have gone cold and might be dead, but forever with you I'll stay. And there's just like, there's a lot of different things going on lyrically in this song. Musically, I think it's just you feel the crowd too, with like how much they're getting into this song as they're playing it.
You feel that a lot in this album for sure. The crowd is very much in it.
Steven Van Sant, he's kind of playing like this mandolin kind of like guitar.
I saw that. I think it is a mandolin. He plays it throughout most of this album. It's very nice.
It has a very distinct sound. It really, in this song in particular, I think it adds a lot. And just before we move on from this song, I'd say, like, you know, there's just like that whole thing of when he's kind of setting up the scene of the song. He's like, you know, we're gonna see what those racket boys can do on the boardwalk tonight. We're gonna, you know, there's gonna be a hell of a fight on the promenade. You know, like, it has like this very distinctive New Jersey. You know, Atlantic City, of course, a famous city in New Jersey, known for gambling and casinos and underworld crime and all kinds of things. You know, and so you like all of that is kind of really mixed into this song in a really amazing way. And like I said, an improvement on the original version.
Yeah, I'll take your word on that. It's a really good song, regardless.
Yeah. What comes after this one? Mansion on the Hill.
Mansion on the Hill. Yeah.
It's got a lot of accordion.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Is this the first one where he has harmonica?
A slower song.
Yeah.
The mansion on the hill.
Mm-hmm.
You know what this really
Oh,
reminds me of?
this has that nice steel guitar.
Yeah, it's almost a country song.
Yeah, very much so. Well, the steel guitar is very
And
right.
he's singing with his wife here, right?
Yeah,
What's her
she
name?
sings on a
Patty?
couple songs here. Yeah.
Yeah, and like so it kind of feels like an old country song, like, and it's it kind of shows his like his range here that
Mm,
but I like this. It kind of even reminds me of like, this we did Stan Rogers as the album before this, and I even get some sort of that old folksy sort of, country and folk very connected.
mm,
Um and I get those vibes here because Bruce Springsteen, he's from New Jersey, but he clearly has like this strong Irish heritage
mm,
that comes through in a lot of his songs. Like he really puts a lot of like sort of that folksy kind of country storytelling into it that I really love.
mm.
And he even starts doing the yodeling here at the end. Yeah.
Yeah. No, this is a nice song.
It's a nice song. It's a nice transition song. It's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I think it stands out in this album as being unique and something kind of just a different flavor,
Yeah, I say so.
So
All right, but
I sign
next,
off on this one.
yeah, it's nice. Now we move on to The River.
The River. Yeah. And so a great song as well. One of Bruce's classic songs.
Yeah, I was
But
about to say,
this
I love
version
the
different.
saxophone in the song is amazing.
Yeah, so we get Clarence Clemens, the late great big man of the
Yep.
E Street Band, who he plays this saxophone solo for like what 2 minutes or 3
And
minutes,
it's amazing.
and he kind of even ends the song with a bit of a
Yep.
saxophone solo. Yeah, and he's just riffing on the saxophone, and if you listen to it, he is playing like the melody of The River. But I don't know if the crowd is fully putting together that they're about to listen to The River. It's just like they just think Clarence Clemens is just doing a solo here, or almost giving us some saxophone, concert here, rehearsal,
Yep.
recital, I guess is the word I'm looking for. But then it turns into a version of The River when Bruce comes into it. Bruce gives us like a lot of like harmonica, even as a transition from the guitar saxophone. Before we get into it,
Interesting. I mean, I
so
know
yeah, he doesn't.
harmonica is a very divisive instrument, but I quite like it. I think that Bruce is pretty good at playing it too.
He's a very good harmonica player. I don't know who's if when it's bad, but when somebody's really good at it with like he is, I would say it's not a problem for me. Yeah, he doesn't even start singing the song until like 5 minutes into this, I want to say, or something. Like the whole song is about 7 minutes, 8 minutes.
It's 11 minutes, which there are a lot of those on this album.
It's 11 minutes.
Yeah.
To the river. Yeah, it's a really nice one. Like, have you heard this song before?
No, I'm not very familiar with Springsteen, so
Yeah.
most of this is new to me.
Yeah, so like this song, most of the time he doesn't have like this huge guitar, this huge saxophone, and all this harmonica at the front of it. But it's kind of a real quiet version. It's one of his like classic working man songs. It's there's that line in the song about for my 19th birthday I got a union card and a wedding coat because he gets his woman pregnant here. He has to kind of go right into working in the mines or whatever. I can't even remember what exactly is the context of it. But he's super young when him and his wife basically start this family and start working. There's the whole theme of the song is really well done. I think that the way Bruce it feels really like emotional to Bruce every time he does it.
Yeah, it seems very personal. That's for sure.
And tragic. It's like it's a real like tragic song. And so
yeah, this is a pretty good song. I can't lie.
Yeah, you're right. It's 11 minutes and 16 seconds.
Yep.
It goes on and on. But it's worth it. It doesn't feel long. Like I feel like the only part that feels long to me is the saxophone part. at the front.
But that's the best part to me, so I don't mind as much.
Yeah, I think that just depends on how much you like saxophone solos. So, you know, and so I guess it goes a little long in my mind, but you know that's overall. I think that this is one of the best songs on the album.
Yeah. All right. Shall we move? Do you have anything else to say about the track, though?
Not really. Like it's you know it's another one of like it's a more melancholy song, you know, and so I feel like its placement in the album flow is good. You know, like as much as we don't like the 3 songs he picks to start off the album, I feel like everything after Atlantic City, even maybe I think like everything after Atlantic City feels right. You know, like mostly like these songs are flowing from one to the other.
Yep. Yeah, no, I think that it's a pretty good track listing so far. Episode like after that point.
Yeah, this is good.
We move to Youngstown next.
Youngstown, yeah. This is is this about the Civil War or something? It feels like that.
I couldn't tell particularly.
What's that?
I couldn't tell particularly what it's about.
It's about like we go to Youngstown.
I believe Youngstown. I believe it's a real place. Yeah, it is.
I think it's about the Civil War.
Yeah. Okay.
Down in Youngstown.
I believe. Yeah.
In Youngstown. I like the song.
Yeah, it's pretty
Youngstown
good.
in Ohio, I think is what it refers to.
Yeah.
I love the guitar here at the end. The guitar solo is amazing.
Yeah, no. The E Street Band definitely has some great guitarists.
Down in Youngstown. Yeah, it's great. This is a banger.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Like and at the end, it all like the way the band plays together.
Yeah.
You know, can't like Chef's Kiss. Like that's an amazing song.
That's pretty great. All right.
Then Murder Incorporated comes after that.
Yeah.
Which I think is this is one of the songs where I feel like the E Street Band is just having so much fun with this song in Murder Incorporated. Like Murder Incorporated. There's a couple songs in here. This is one of them where I don't know, maybe it's just one of their new I don't know when this song was made or written, but I was kind of hoping we could get Jeff on here because he knows a lot more about the history, but it's his birthday today, so
yeah, he's busy.
We couldn't pull him in, but like this is one of the ones where they're just all smiling and they're all kind of going and they're riffing off each other and they're just I don't know, like it's.
I don't think the song itself is particularly good, personally.
I don't like they kind of sell it to me the way that it's. I don't know. Bruce goes real like fun on this. Like he's kind of hollering, screaming at parts. Murder Incorporated. Yeah. I don't know. This is a fun swinger kind of a song. Like the beat's great. Like,
it doesn't particularly hit for me.
All right. Well, I won't try to tell you anything different anymore.
Anyways,
and then we start getting more into his like classic. I guess the songs people really know.
Yeah.
Of his.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like play the hits, everybody. So Badlands is up next.
Yeah. This is I like the keyboard on this. He's got some pretty catchy keyboard hooks. Bruce Springsteen.
I don't know, like it's not like this has never been one of my favorite Bruce Springsteen song. It's a perfectly fine song, you know, and I get why it's popular, but it's just never been my personal favorite. But you can't deny that it's one of his like signature songs. Like it's just
right.
So
yeah.
You know, and it's different and it stands apart. And I think it's, you know, I think when people are gonna remember Bruce Springsteen, they're partly gonna remember this song.
That's fair.
Among maybe 2 or 3 others, but you know, I feel like this will be on his epitaph. Singer of the creator of the song Badlands.
Yeah. You know, it's all right.
It's all right. You know, like what else is there to say about Badlands? You know,
Yeah, that's how I feel pretty much.
it just got to see it. It's fun. It's catchy. It's a roller coaster.
Yep,
It builds.
a little bit. But anyways, we get to the first, or almost the last track of CD1.
Right.
Out in the street. Yeah.
What's out in the street? Oh, this song.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
It's good.
I don't like this one.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think it's boring. Like
yeah, I can see that. I think I prefer this more. I prefer this more to Badlands, definitely.
Yeah, Badlands is. I prefer Badlands to this, but I think that this is one of the weaker songs on the album. I just don't think this is one of the songs where I feel like he's just playing and sing. I don't know how I'm trying to describe this, but it doesn't. The song doesn't pull you in.
Yeah, that's fair.
Way, it just doesn't have those kind of like ebbs and flows and sort of like come back to the chorus in the same way. It does. The hook is for me. It just isn't strong enough. So I'm mostly down on this song.
Yeah, I can pretty much agree with that. And then ending outside one, but not actually listed on the CD itself, is Born to Run.
Yeah, they make you get to the end of Out of the Street before that song is there, I guess, right? Because you couldn't actually, so you have to listen to Out of the Street before you get to Born to Run. Born to Run, like, come on,
it's a classic song for a reason. Yeah, this is
like, and the way the crowd, like every time there's that pause where he's like, and like, like the crowd is so into it. Baby, we were born to run, and like I don't know, like this is like, I was saying that about Badlands a second ago, but maybe even more so. This is the song.
This is a classic Springsteen song for a reason.
And it was one of his albums, like was the title song on one of his most famous albums ever, right? Born to Run. So like I just like this, maybe this is his like number one song all time. Like people will always associate with him with Born to Run. And he was already famous when the song came out. And he had done a ton of stuff before this, but the
only song I think that could be more associated with him than this is like Born in the USA.
Another song where he's born, Born to Run, like similar feelings, I guess you get from the two songs, although they are different. Like I just like this song is, even though I love to run, I've never wanted to run to this one.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's not quite a runner song.
No, it's not quite. It's more like a dancing song.
Yeah, or just like I could see it like in a montage in a movie,
that too,
like that. It's a perfectly good song, and I like it, but I don't love it.
That's fair. I think you're giving it a little too much harshness. I do quite like it.
Oh yeah, I think like a lot of people do love the song just more than I personally do. You know what I mean? I just don't think it's his best song, but but I think that it's his like sort of the song everybody knows of him. Like
I'd agree with that.
or one of them at least.
But then we get to the 10th Avenue Freeze Out, and this is where I need to bring something up. This album, like we mentioned, is very long, and there are a lot of 11-minute songs on it, and it could be make it. If you're not into like 11-minute songs, you're not gonna like this album.
Well, if you're not into 11-minute songs, we got a 16-minute song here for you.
19 minutes.
16. I have 16:09
well, the video I have here is 19 minutes.
I think the video is a little longer.
Okay,
I think they cut some of that out, but
and it's barely a song. This is definitely the least favorite song of my. It's just this
is like a spiritual song, Eamon. This was a what do they call that? An exorcism, a musical spiritual awakening as Bruce becomes a preacher man in this song.
I was about to say, it definitely feels like I'm part of a cult in this song.
He is so entertaining in this song and in this video, and basically this is how he would end a show. Although it starts off the second side.
The second side for some reason.
for whatever reason. But yeah, this is like basically this is like the last song and the second last song of the show. And so he's introducing the whole band. In particular, like, did you get to the part where Clarence Clemens is sort of, brought into the song, or did you?
A little bit? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Like, I remember listening through this whole song, so I would have. I just don't quite remember that.
Yeah, well, in the video is incredibly entertaining, right? Because he goes all around and he's introducing people, and he's on his knees and he's sweating up a storm, and he's like he's doing like this evangelical kind of preacher man thing, and I don't know, like it's wild. It's again, it's a completely new version of this song, like the 10th Avenue Freeze Out. As much as I love that original version, and this version is different, and
it's very different,
and it's got like little bits of like,
because it's not even just this song, right? It's a bunch of other songs,
right? There's a part where he introduces his wife, Patty, and then she plays a little bit of her song, I guess, which is called "The Redheaded Woman." And like, so I don't know, like I watched it yesterday again. Like, I was just like, this is so much fun. He clearly loves these people. The band really comes together, I think, in this song. There's this one part in the video where Bruce kind of calls them all over, like, or he calls over Steve, Clarence, and Patty to kind of like, I don't know, do like a hip thrust or whatever.
I saw.
Right. And Bruce has this look on his face where he just looks like, okay, how am I going to explain this? Like, Bruce Springsteen does a great job of being Bruce Springsteen, right? He's this cool leather jacket wearing, motorcycle riding, kind of like almost James Dean-esque kind of a character, right? That's often what we associate with him. White t-shirt, blue jeans, a working class guy. But the more I've looked into Bruce's biography, the more, and this is, I think, true of a lot of musicians, that like in high school, he wasn't the coolest guy. He was more of just like this loner guy who kind of kept to himself, super quiet, was always into his guitar. And a lot of like these people who go on to become like these big rock stars, that's often, I think, like the case. Like, they were just people who were just practiced and were kind of super dedicated to the craft. And they weren't like, out like, like Kaniki and in Greece and living up the life, racing cars all the time necessarily. Like, I think like that's kind of more true of who Bruce Springsteen actually is. And so there's this look he gives to Steve right before they're going to do like this hip thrust, where I'm like, oh my God, that is the actual Bruce right there. They like this, like the nerdy kind of Bruce who's just like having fun with his friend right for a moment. He kind of like, in my mind, he almost drops the facade of who he wants Bruce Springsteen to be to you, right? And he's just being himself. And I really appreciate that. I feel like it's sort of a vulnerable moment unintentionally in this particular video version of this song. And then at the end, when he like, he's introduced everybody and he's like, do I need to say his name? Do I need to say his name? And it's Clarence Clemens. And then, he brings him up and there's in this song, there's always been a line about like, the big man joined the band. And that's kind of when the song comes back. Right. And they kind of finish the song after like, 15 minutes of kind of doting around the stage.
Yeah, that's my problem. Is it just kind of 15 minutes of not song, and it's just not very interesting to listen to.
But are you not entertained?
I am mildly entertained. It's definitely not enough to stick around for 20 minutes, though.
16 and 9 seconds.
It doesn't help, really.
Doesn't help. It's a 2-hour plus album, like we mentioned.
If there's a 2-hour plus album, this contributes to all of that plus, basically.
Okay, well, like but it's 2 CDs, so maybe treat them like 2 albums or a double album kind of here.
So it's funny you mentioned this because I was looking this up. Most double albums I could find don't even come close to this length. Like, even like White Album, that's an hour 20. The Wall, that's an hour 15, I think. Tommy, that's like an hour 15ish. Yeah, it's hilarious. This is more like a triple album almost.
Okay, well, fair enough. But I don't know.
Anyways,
If it's the right song, I don't mind. If it's a song I don't like,
yeah, if it's the right song and I want a song.
right.
Anyways, moving on to the actual beginning of side 2 is Land of Hopes and Dreams.
Well, yeah. Great. Okay. Love this song. This is another example incorporated where I feel like the band is just having so much fun with the song. I don't know when this song came out. I feel like it's a newer song, and maybe it's just like, they're tired of playing songs like Badlands,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And maybe this song is like less. They played it just fewer times, and therefore they like it a lot.
Yeah.
It feels like an older Bruce song. It feels like a song that doesn't come from the 70s, doesn't come from when he was, sort of in the heyday. It feels like something like it's a more mature, older song. I feel like I kind of want to know what the history of this song is, actually, now that but Meet Me in the Land of Hope and Dreams, like, this train, and like, has what, cannibals and something or other. I don't know all the lyrics off by heart, but like, where does it go here? Ooh. Well, you don't know where you're going now, but you know you won't be back. I said, this train, dreams will not be thwarted. This train, faith will be rewarded. There's almost like this gospel aspect to the song. It's apparently they did a charity version after the 9/11 attacks of this song that was, about kind of coming together.
He has a whole album for the 9/11 people, the Rising, so that makes sense.
Yeah, and like putting that one on there. Yeah, it's like I felt like this is one of his more really like yeah, the song came out in 99. So it only had been out for about a year or so, or two, or I guess for a year when they recorded this. It feels like a Bruce in his 40s made this song, and I felt like that when we did the Bee Gees album. There was a few of the Bee Gees songs where like clearly,
well, there were a couple of them from their new album. Yeah, I do know
right?
that on that album. So
And they feel like that. They feel like they're from like somebody older who has made them. And now that I'm a little older, I can kind of maybe understand that more, because I guess there was this mentality for a long time in rock and roll that that's the only time you're going to be amazing is when you're in your 20s, or your 30s, and then
that's definitely changed.
And then you're old. But there was definitely that feeling, like even back then. I think when like Bruce and the band are doing their thing here in 2000. A lot of people would have said like, oh, they're past their prime. They're not. Like, they've been touring for the last 20 years after this. They haven't slowed down.
It's definitely impressive. Well, Bruce Springsteen is famous for his stamina.
His stamina, but his longevity too, like how long he stayed relevant. Like Paul McCartney's not doing that anymore, and I know Bruce is a bit younger, but like there's somebody like as an artist of his age, like, and how much he really still pulls out the crowds and people of all ages still. I think like it's a strong testament to just how good of a musician he is. I think much as an icon as he is in the American rock scene. Of the late 20th century, but also early 21st century, because I feel like he's had some great songs that have come out, even in this century.
That's interesting. I can't really speak on that, but it's an interesting idea.
Yeah. Well, what do you think of this song? Do you like this song?
It's good. This is not one that sticks out in my mind, but I definitely don't think it's bad or anything. I like it.
Yeah, I personally like it a lot. I think it's more to that storytelling kind of thing that I really enjoy, and so I feel like this song has that more so than like those three songs that we talked about at the beginning, like My Love Will Not Let You Down. I'm like, I will listen to this song over that any day, even though it's a bit more predictable or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what this next song is, Eamon, that comes up after this.
Oh, it's American Skin. This one I actually do really like. This is about someone who got shot for no reason. He got shot by a police officers. Yeah, basically for no reason. And I think this is a really good
police brutality song, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I think I listened to this song, but I'm listening to it now. Yeah, I like it. It's got like a high rating on Amazon Music, so it's clearly one of the most popular songs from this album.
Yeah, that doesn't shock me. It's interesting. Yeah, I think it's very good. I think it's very tragic, and I think what helps is that this is still a very relevant topic.
Yeah. This song also, yeah, this song debuted on this album.
Oh, okay.
So this song was not from another album first.
Oh, that's good to know. Yeah.
Yeah. So inspired by the police shooting death of Amadou Diallo by the NYPD.
Mhm.
The song was first released on the Live in New York City album. Okay, so we learned something that this is one of the only original songs that, or the first time it was really put out there was this.
That's cool.
Yeah. There's different covers out there. Jackson Browne did a cover. I'd like to hear that. Mary J. Blige did a cover. Okay, yeah, like I don't know, like I think that this kind of ahead of its time too.
Yeah. No kidding. Yeah.
It says, despite the acquittal of 4 officers who fired the 41 shots, 19 of which struck Diallo, killing him in only 24 seconds, and outrage from the establishment, Springsteen performed a harrowing song for his resonant, raspy voice alongside a solemn piano, alongside cheers and meeting with the Diallo family, providing much-needed healing to the community and continuation of his legacy. And then Springsteen was recognized by the NAACP Humanitarian Award in December of that year for the, for speaking out. Say, good on Bruce.
Yeah, good for him.
A message song.
Yeah, it's nice. He has definitely his message songs.
Yeah, for sure he does. Yeah.
All right. Next song on the album is "Lost in the Flood."
What is this?
You don't remember this? I barely remember this either. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. When Bruce starts doing these kinds of things, I'm like, no.
Yeah. Was
like I like storytelling, but this is too much. Because it's just raspiness. It's just like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's way too slow as well.
It's slow. It just doesn't swing. It just doesn't have like any kind of a hook to it.
Yeah, that's generally how I feel about this.
This is not a finished song to me.
No, barely.
Like, you can disguise it with some great instrumentals, but like
that doesn't change the fact that it's very slow and boring.
Slow, and it's just melodically I don't like it. It's just sort of so.
Anyways, how do you feel about this cover of "Born in the USA" or this redo? I guess like this remix, whatever you want to call it.
Good.
Yeah, it's pretty
starts
good.
Off slow.
Oh yeah, I love the 12-string guitar on this, but I'm not as into Bruce's voice on this.
It's almost like an Irish version of the song. Or like a country version.
I can see it. Yeah.
I like this. I like that he did something different with it, you know?
Yeah.
Born in the USA.
It's not what you'd expect for Born in the USA.
It's not like the classic Born in the USA.
Yeah, it's not that.
It's not.
If you're expecting that, yeah, it's not.
So I could see this being somebody's favorite version of the song.
Yeah.
I don't think it's my favorite version of the song.
No.
I think I tend to prefer the original version.
Same.
But I respect that, just like he did with Atlantic City. I think he gives us a better version of Atlantic City, and I think that this is maybe not as much of a good version of this particular song. But it doesn't mean it's bad. It's just it's not maybe what I like, But you can find 6 different versions of Born in the USA by Bruce alone, and they're completely different from one another. And this is just one of them.
Yeah.
All
right. Yeah, it's all right.
It's all right. It's all right. Maybe, but you might want to put on the original Born on the USA after you listen.
Yeah, I think so. Next up is Don't Look Back.
Don't Look Back. This is good.
Yeah.
It's kind of a forgettable song. It's a bit of a filler track, but
yeah, but yeah,
the melody, like I like it. You know, you want to
it's
keep
not
listening to
doing
it.
much for me.
It doesn't do a lot for me either. It's not like my favorite, but it's background.
Mm. Yeah, that's a great compliment. It's background music.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give you that. It's, but I don't hate it either. It's just kind of, but it's also kind of forgettable. Like, so I'm indifferent maybe in some ways
Yeah.
to it. All right. And then
Anyways,
we get
to Jungle Land.
Jungle Land. Now this is a song.
Yeah. Mhm.
Come on, this is a good one.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, that part where he yells like, "We're gonna get that giant X on side," and I don't know. Like, there's just this. I think this is one of the better songs on the album.
Mm.
And I like Jungle Land. I think it's a good song.
Yep.
What are your thoughts?
I think that it's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, better than Don't Look Back.
Yes.
Okay.
Easy. This is actually a song that I remember.
Yeah.
It's no, I will say it feels like one of the few songs on this album that deserves to be as long as it is. Personally.
Yeah, no, it's really good. How long is the song?
This is 11 minutes again.
It's 11 minutes.
A lot of these songs are 11 minutes. This is a long album. Yeah.
Well, he's playing for the crowd, you know.
He
It
sure
is.
is.
We're in the last 4 tracks though.
Yep.
Now, so.
Yep. All right, on to Ramrod.
Ramrod.
Yeah.
This is a good one. It's like it really reminds me of like almost like a 50s swinger kind of song.
Mm.
You know?
Yeah.
Like a Great Balls of Fire, like a, you know.
I'm thinking more like really? I'm thinking more almost like Johnny Be Good.
Yeah, like Little Richard. Like it's kind of got that kind of like, especially the piano, like the da, 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 you know, like all that.
Yeah, exactly, for sure.
And I don't know, like it's again, it's just another fun song where the band is just like playing with each other and they're kind of getting to all do their thing. And I think that the song works mostly. You know, it's not my favorite again, but I like it.
Yeah, I can respect that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I definitely like the uniqueness of it.
Yeah.
Now we move on to If I Should Fall.
If I Should Fall Behind.
If I Should Fall Behind, yes. This is a nice, like, pretty much everyone gets to sing on this song. That's nice.
It's nice. This version is not my favorite version again of this particular song. It's because it's a little slower. So he does a version in Dublin. It's as like an Irish ditty version, like you know, and he does it as a duet with I think an Irish singer, I believe, or maybe it's his wife. I can't remember. But that live in Dublin version comes like 15 years after this. That's my particular version. This is good too. If I hadn't heard that other version, maybe I would like this one a bit more. But right now, it's kind of it's not my favorite version of this particular song. But they do a lot with Clarence on the saxophone here. They do a lot with just kind of making this out. How long is this particular version? It's 6 minutes.
This is 6 minutes. This one's fine. Yeah, it's very slow.
It's very slow.
Yeah.
And like the Irish version I like is much faster. And much more consistent.
This is practically like a ballad.
It's a ballad, but it's kind of he's singing. Yeah, like I feel like there's a better version. I know there is. I know there's a better version of the song. It's just so I tend to want to skip it just because I know I guess it was the same thing with like how we felt about Born in the USA, right? Like there's nothing wrong with this version, and it could be somebody's.
But there's a better version of it.
for me, but like I
Yeah.
think I could see this being somebody's favorite version of the song. No, there'll be nothing wrong with that. It's
Yep.
just it's just what, and that's like we've been saying the podcast
Yep.
is like Bruce makes so many versions of his songs.
Yeah. And yeah, that's about it. Now the last two songs on this album, I couldn't even find them on like the listing for the live version. So I just listened to them on the CD version.
Okay.
Which is yeah. My Homeland. I remember the song Hometown, sorry. Hometown. This song I remember being pretty good, yeah.
This is one of my favorite Bruce Springsteen songs, period. And it's this idea of like, I don't know, there's a lot of things in this song. He talks about growing up in high school, all the racial tension at the time. There was a lot of fights between black and white. There was nothing you could do, right? And there was, just how his hometown degrades. It's another one of his like working class struggle songs. He talks about the foreman said these jobs are going away, boys, and they ain't never coming back. There's a lot of those things in here, like going around how the hometown gradually becomes more poor, more degraded, how his father wanted him to be very proud of their hometown, and he's trying to say that to his son, but it's harder in his situation.
Yeah,
how the world's changed. Talks about getting out and getting away, but saying no, this is my hometown, and take a good look around. And so it's a slow song, but it's one of I think again with what I love about Bruce's lyrics and the way he puts his songs together and the storytelling. I think this is one of his best ever. And often gets I think it's a popular song for sure, but maybe not as much as some of his other ones, like his like exciting ones, like Born to Run.
Right. It's no, I can appreciate that. It's a very heartfelt song.
And this is from his like solo era. The song is about his speaking to his memories of his father, instilling pride in the family's hometown. And then, the aspects of, the racial strife in New Jersey's in the 60s and all those things, all kind of come through in the song. Great. I think it's, one of his best ever. Yeah. Recorded in 1983, the year I was born, originally. Not this version. This version recorded in 2000, but
okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. And then finally, this Hardland.
A lot of harmonica.
Yep. Again, I quite like it.
This is a great song.
Yeah. It's pretty good. I like this one quite a bit.
Do you like that it's the last, like, I don't think he ended the show on this, but
no,
he ends the album on this, right? Like,
I don't even know what he ended it on.
Probably 10th Avenue. He probably did 10th Avenue Freeze Out. Then they went off and they probably did one encore after that.
Yeah.
Or something like that. So who knows what that song would have been.
I definitely don't know if this is a good, like, I almost feel like this is a good penultimate track, not a good final track.
Yeah. But it's nice. It's like it's a little generic for him, but it's it's a Bruce Springsteen song, that's for sure.
It sure is a Bruce Springsteen song. Yep.
Yeah. So it's like, but I don't think it like. It's maybe not what I would close out it with in terms of flow. Like of these discs 2, you think you'd end with 10th Avenue Freeze Out.
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
Right.
I'm sure that's how the show actually ended.
Right. I don't know how they decide these orders, but we're here to criticize them some 24 years later.
Yes. So. Anyways, let's move on to ratings. So first off, favorite song, least favorite song. You can start with favorite song.
My favorite song is Atlantic City.
Sure. I didn't expect anything else from you.
Yeah, like but I have a lot of close seconds here. I think in particular, Land of Hope and Dreams really stands out for me too. Okay. I would give that one an honorable mention at the least. Yeah. What about you? You want me my least favorite, or do you want to give your
I'll give my favorite first. Atlantic City is definitely really good. The River is really good. Badlands is really good. Born to Run. But my favorite, actually, I think, is American Skin.
Okay, yeah, there you go. And hey, we learned that was that
Yeah, it was an original song. Yeah,
on this album. So hey, way to find the gem.
Yep, no kidding.
Yeah.
Your least favorite?
There's a few to pick from here.
There are.
I don't know. Out on the street, maybe. Maybe Prove It All Night.
Yeah.
Prove It All Night. Yeah, like to me, that's like a crappy song.
Okay.
Prove It All.
So Prove It All Night. Okay,
Yeah,
and I'll pick 10th Avenue Freeze-Out is what I'll pick.
What? Blasphemy. Yeah. That song is fun.
It's calling it a song is even a bit of a stretch because it's not really a song.
Yeah. Well, it's a performance.
Sure.
Here, we go with that here.
For score, okay. I am okay. Here, score.
Oh, sorry. Did I pull that up?
No, I got it.
Oh, you did. Okay.
For this is me, right? Yep. For music, I'd give this an 8.5. It's pretty good. I think that the musicians did an amazing job on this album. The E Street Band is really talented, that's for sure.
Yeah, you can't deny like their musical playing abilities. Like they're pretty like world class, right? So I think I'm gonna go 9 on my side for that.
Okay, that's fair. Lyrically, I'm gonna go a 6.5.
Only a 6.5. Why?
There are a lot of strong songs on here, but there are just as many songs that I feel like are just kind of whatever in terms of lyrics.
Yeah, I feel like even there's a lot of songs on here I need to really analyze the lyrics more to even know what the songs are about,
Yeah.
So it's hard to, but the ones I do know I really enjoy. So I'll go 7 for that. On lyrics, it's pretty strong.
Pacing is getting a 2 from me. This album could have been an hour shorter. And a lot of these songs could have been like half their length.
I agree that it's a negative in terms of pacing. They're too long. Some of them are too long. There's too many songs.
Yeah.
They could have easily cut out the ones no one likes, or at least ones we don't like. So I'll give a 4 on pacing.
Yeah, it's fair. Visuals for the cover, I mean, it's a 7 out of 10. It's a very generic cover.
Yeah, I'll go 7 as well.
And then production, 8.5 is a solid recording.
Yeah, like you can't say like, oh, that didn't sound good.
No.
I'll go 9 on production. So
that leaves us with a 6.5 for me and a 7.3 for you. So we were very lukewarm on this album.
Yeah, and we seem to be averaging a 6.9 between the two of us. So anyway, so almost a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, almost. Which I feel like describes this album pretty well, actually.
It's about a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
It's a passing mark, but it will blow you away.
No, yeah. That sounds about right. Yep. Yeah, that's about it. So I just play the ender right now, the outro, to give like the links and stuff.
Oh yeah, well we can probably sign off for tonight. Or today. I guess it's not today.
It's not even noon yet.
Not even noon yet. We got a whole day ahead of us, and it's great. Happy birthday to your uncle Jeff Mader.
Yeah, happy birthday to Jeff Mader. Wish you could be here. Anyways, I will.
You'll be back to do another album?
Yeah, I'll make sure. I'm planning on getting. I forget his specific his name, but you were telling me about someone. I'm gonna get them to do Tragically Hip.
Jerry McRae?
Yeah, Jerry McRae.
Or was it Adam?
It was Jerry McRae, the person you told me.
Long time member of the Eden Prairie Mallrats.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Yeah, well, he might be there today at the birthday party.
Oh, okay.
So maybe you can talk to him there. Eamon, you're starting your radio college soon.
Yep, that's exciting.
It's a couple more weeks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you get your class schedule yet?
I'm sorting that out now. Actually, I have to. I'm allocating my schedule. Yeah.
You have to allocate it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So get that all, you better get on that.
Yeah,
We've got a couple more weeks until we start up school.
Yep.
But you're going to learn all the trades. You're going to be able to maybe give us some more critiques of these albums in different ways.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Yeah. So
hopefully the production will get better at least.
Yeah, good luck that. Well, and you can say, hey, I got this podcast, Eamon on Track. Watch out. Jerry McCrae, come be talking Tragically Hip in the near future.
Yep. All right. I've been Eamon Mader.
And I'm Dave Mader.
All right. And we'll see you on the flip side.
Beam up some Star Trek content with Live Long and Podcast. Tune in to X-Rated, the X-Men animated review show. Artistic interviews with graphic histories. A roundtable movie discussion with Hey, did you see this one? And movie reviews with Hold Up, a movie podcast. And while you're at it, spin a few records with Eamon on Track. Watch us duke it out on trivial debates. And let's chat about TV with the Super Mader Brothers. It's all here on the United Federation of Podcasts.